Okay, if we can start perhaps just with a bit of an introduction to the company, bit about the history, any sort of key milestones to date, just for folks so we can understand a little bit about you.
Yes, I'm glad to introduce you a bit more about Arteco. So, yeah, Arteco has been founded the late 90s. We are a joint venture company between Texaco, which is now known as Chevron, and Elf, which is now known as TotalEnergies. And yeah, both companies actually brought a load of experience and know-how in the coolant technology. That story started already late 40s for Texaco. And actually, they brought to the market and they developed the very well-known OAT technology, which is more commonly known as the organic additive technology. And actually, it gave a major advancement in the engine coolant corrosion protection compared to previous technologies. Today, it's still used as the main backbone in many different cooling technologies that are available in the marketplace. And this is actually what created yeah, the pioneering spirit of Arteco, which the company we are today, which is really building our DNA. A major step later is in 2017, beginning of 2017, we have created a completely standalone company out of Arteco. Arteco is still a joint venture company, 50% owned by both companies, TotalEnergies and Chevron, but we are a fully autonomous company today, based in Belgium, so in Europe, with our headquarters in Ghent, and we have our production facility in one of the major chemical hubs in the world, being Antwerp. And today we are really a global player. So one of the most recent milestones was the build of our new plant, and we are very proud of it in China last year. I don't need to go more in detail probably to say that China is, and by extension also Southeast Asia, is a very fast-growing market in terms of premium coolants and more advanced coolants compared to the past. Hence our decision to do quite a substantial investment in Nantong, where we built a brand new facility to produce coolant out of raw materials. And it really supports our growth globally and also the demand of our customers that want a global solution with one technology.
Okay, and I'm guessing from some of the names you mentioned there in terms of, where the companies come from, you've got a something of a pedigree in the automotive industry. I suspect that's the case, so perhaps you can just tell us a little bit about that sort of history.
Yeah, that's totally true. So Arteco, we have our deep roots in the automotive industry, where we are one of the leading global players today. So in the data center industry, they might not know us yet very well, but in automotive, we are really a global renowned coolant player. And we have built our reputation by developing our premium coolants, meeting the real high standards in automotive, which is looking to performance, reliability of the products, but also to protect the systems. And it's exactly this expertise that we also need in the data center industry, where everything is about dealing with higher thermal loads compared to before. It's about compatibility with coolants, about compatibility of the components in the cooling system. And exactly these competences that we have gathered in the automotive sector is is of value in data center industry, where uptime is everything. So all the products that you made need to be 100% sure in terms of performance and reliability. Actually, and yeah, for us it's a pretty new world, but we are very excited about it, and we feel very comfortable, as it's still about protecting metals. It's still about using and having the right coolant for the hoses, the elastomers, the plastics used in a cooling system of a data center.
Yeah, so I mean, as you've obviously explained there, perhaps it'd just be good to explore a little bit more. So your move into the data center is fairly recent, certainly compared to your sort of automotive history, and I'm guessing that that's because we've got higher and higher densities, thanks largely, I suppose, to AI. Well, we had cloud and the digital world, but now we have AI, which is exploding everywhere, and as a result, I think there's more liquid cooling coming to the data center. So is that where you see the sort of opportunity for yourselves to help folks with this sort of new data center environment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the rise of the artificial intelligence and machine learning, high performance computing, etc., have really pushed the boundaries of what cooling system you can use. And as already commonly noted, air cooling is no longer sufficient for these high thermal outputs. All these processors consume so much power and generate consequently also this heat, and it needs to be dissipated. And liquid cooling seems to be and is the right solution going forward. Obviously, you have also quite a different liquid cooling types, from immersion to two-phase to direct-to-chip. And direct-to-chip cooling has proven itself as the most robust solution for the moment. You also see it's very widely adopted by players like an NVIDIA, setting a lot of standards in the industry. So it's definitely the future, and also what is used today. Um, Very interesting as well is that you see that even if many players thought, yeah, but there are some boundaries as well for the use of water-based liquid cooling, and we probably need to look to new technologies going forward, which is maybe possible, but we also have to see that a lot of not only ourselves looking to more advanced coolants going forward, where we can still absorb even more thermal load compared to the coolants that are on the market today, but we also see cold plate manufacturers with new designs, completely new designs that even promise to be able to handle with water-based liquid cooling up to 4,000 watts, which was, I think industry thought it was totally impossible in only in a very recent history. So let's see what brings tomorrow, but we are very confident that the water glycol-based solution is definitely there to stay. And indeed, so with all this expertise that we have, and we learned a lot about the data center applications in the past years. So we launched a specifically developed product range for this industry, being the Zitrec EC from electronics cooling, where we have, depending on what the customer wants, different options, going from a totally water-based product, so without any glycol, but still bacteriostatic coolant. So no biofouling will be formed. So you don't need any biocides. That's what we call our Zitrec EC10. Probably the most known coolant in the market being the PG25. That's our Zitrec EC20, containing 25% of propylene glycol, which is really the standard in the industry today. It's already in use in some hyperscalers as well. So it has already proven itself, and it's definitely the most, let's say, popular product at this stage. Where we also come in with the Zitrec EC30, and that's where we can really use as well the expertise that we have been built up. It's very important to use a coolant that is compatible with all components used in a cooling system. A lot of radiators have been cap raised, so using also flux present in the cooling system, and then you need a specific additivation to deal with it. So to have a very good protection of aluminium as well, and this is where the Zitrec EC30 comes in. Today we have it in an ethylene glycol base, but in a recent or in the near future we'll also have a propylene glycol variant available. So this is definitely something which is on the radar of many customers. We also have a low conductive one, which reduces a lot the risk of short circuits in the event of leaks, obviously. And this is what is our Zitrec EC40. So this is the product range that we have today, but we want to offer much more than products. But what we see in the data center industry, it's like, totally new industry, and they have never really heard about coolants, about the chemicals. So we can really be a guide for them and not only deliver products, but also help them with our expertise that we have in regulatory compliance. But it's also about waste management. It's about product stewardship. But it's also about making sure that the product that they have in their data centers is still of the right quality going forward. So we also have an analysis service where we can do chemical analysis of the coolant, make sure that everything is still fine and that we can still guarantee the uptime in a data center, which is key for them. So a good analysis and a good follow-up of the state of the coolant will be key in the future. And this is also what we can offer to them, much more than just selling or making a product available. Also, the waste management will become more increasingly important. Um, so we can help customers as well with the end of life. So if a new generation of chips will be built in a data center, or they can also consider a coolant change. So this is definitely something that we can do.
Okay, and alongside the sort of AI push in the data center sector, sustainability is another major focus, has been for quite a while. And I know sustainability is a big focus for yourselves to the extent that if I've got this right, you are going to be launching a range of eco products. So just tell us a little bit about, sustainability, how it matters to the company, and then if you can, a little bit about the products that are, I think, hitting the market very, very soon.
Yes, sustainability is definitely on the agenda of Arteco, and we have refreshed our sustainability strategy earlier this year under the umbrella we call it Arteco Act, which means accelerate change together. And we have built this strategy on three key focus areas, which is climate action, smart use of resources, and people and community care. For climate action, for us, we have put a target that we want a net zero emission of our own operations by 2030. For our entire supply chain, so meaning also the products that we buy and services that we buy by 2050. In terms of smart use of resources, we definitely want to reduce the reliance on fossil-based materials and move to a more circular economy. And last but not least is about the people and the community care. So yeah, we foster a diverse, inclusive and safe workplace. And we also have put into practice some projects in local communities where we try to support them with some volunteering initiatives, some social engagements. But if we want to move a bit more into the data center world with what have we done? So we will very shortly launch a new product range, an eco product range. It will be rolled out in the data centers as well. How did we came to this new updated product range? We really worked with a very rigorous approach because it's a pretty complex world as well, everything linked to eco. And we started by conducting life cycle assessments on our major products that we sell in the data center industry, and not only examine the product carbon footprint, but also looking into the 16 environmental impact categories. So it's also about land use, water use, etc. So not only about carbon. And the analysis really revealed that the two biggest contributors are for us the use of the fossil-based fluids, so it's really an important part. And the second biggest part is the end of life. Right? So in the end of life today, sometimes the product is even incinerated. So we really would like to move to a more circular approach. Hence also where we want to do some waste collection to make sure that we can bring it into new coolants on the market again. So by actually in launching a new product range, what will we do? We will incorporate in our base fluids renewable feedstock, so it can be bio-based, for example, wood-based. This product is already available in the market today, but we can also use some recycled resources. How it's typically done in the chemical industry is that we use the mass balancing approach because obviously it needs to be traceable and it also needs to be certified. And this will definitely help to significantly lower than the product carbon footprint compared to the fossil products. Yes, obviously we need to, as already stated, we will work with a mass balancing approach. We are also ISCC Plus certified, so it means that we can use this and that we can do the right certification and prove it to customers as well. So pretty excited about it and important step forward as sustainability is also very high on the agenda of the data center industry.
Yeah, and to that point, I think obviously the launch is happening, and hopefully folks will glean some information from the video we're here. But you're also, I think you've got a webinar in I think November time, is that right? So you'll be giving people a sort of, I guess, a more in-depth look at what you're up to. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about what's planned for the webinar.
Yeah, exactly. On November 27th, we organize a webinar around this launch of this eco range. As said, it's a pretty complex topic with a lot of new terminology, and it's important to very well understand. And we also see it as a service to our customers to educate them. We give regularly educational sessions around various topics. Amongst one of them is now where we will host a webinar with our specialists in the eco range, where we can also explain, yeah, what does it bring on a product level? What are the methodologies used? How exactly does it look like to have this reduced carbon footprint? So also going forward, how will we implement this? How can a customer implement this? So definitely that's something that we will do in 2 months from now, more or less. So it's coming up pretty quickly.
Okay. I mean, it's been fantastic to chat, and thanks so much for telling us a little bit about obviously the company, the technology, and your approach to sustainability, and obviously your involvement in AI, which the world is obviously very interested in at the moment. But Johan, really appreciate the time you've given me. So thank you so much. Thanks.
You're very welcome, and maybe we'll meet each other at OCP in San Jose. That's the next big event coming up in the Global Summit. So maybe we'll meet there.
Yeah, if not there, I'm sure there'll be a data center event not too far. Yeah,
All right. Thank you
that's
so much.
fantastic. Thanks again.